What is up everyone, Sox101 here, and today we are back with another MBL team building video. This week we are going up against the Washington Red Shells, which do have a dangerous roster and actually have a lot of Pokemon that I would have wanted to have. As you can see, they made two trades. Their two previous Pokemon are Excelgor and Klinklang. They picked up Electivire, which is a bit of a threat to my team since it's very versatile, and the other thing they picked up was Bronzong, and actually let me know that he picked up Bronzong because otherwise he had no switch-ins to Mega Gardevoir. So those two things actually are pretty big threats to my team, as when the other two really were not. Excelgor was not a threat because Excelgor is never really a threat, and Klinklang wasn't a threat because it's a Klinklang. So now he picked up two mons that are versatile. Electivire is quite speedy, base 95 speed. Bronzong is actually just a fat bastard which can do a variety of things. It can set up a Trick Room, it can set up, well, this team doesn't benefit from Trick Room, but it's a thing it can do. It can set up Hazard, can set up screens. It's basically a supportive mon, and it's basically a support mon. And but those are the new things the Washington Red Shells have obtained, and I actually made a trade myself. I got rid of Sylveon because I found myself to never ever use it, and I traded my Sylveon for a Talonflame that was still in free agency. So there you go. So those are some updates on the trades. So here we go with the team analysis. He's got an Infernape, a Megaltaria, Tornadus Therian. Tornadus Therian is actually the mon I wanted to have really badly for my team. Unfortunately, it did get sniped, so I decided to not go for an OUB that round, but I straight went for the BL, which is Suicune, because I really wanted Suicune. Amoonguss, Slowking, Donphan. Donphan is actually MVP, which is scary. Bronzong, as I said, Electivire, Umbreon, Gengar, and Zapdos. So he has a very versatile team. He has a very solid draft. I really like his draft, and I would have wanted a lot of things. I would have wanted Zapdos. I would have liked to have Gengar. Would have liked Tornadus Therian. Infernape is not a bad BL pick. It's actually probably one of the best BL picks. That's why he started off with that, because he really wanted that Infernape. So then he has Amoonguss, Slowking, which is a Regenerator Core. I do think that Amoonguss plus Alomomola is actually a lot better, but he decided to not go for that and decided to go with Slowking, which actually fits his team probably a bit better. I do think I would struggle with killing an Alomomola though. But looking at his team, basically there are a couple things that are happening, because Mamoswine killed 2-shots everything apart from Max Defense Bronzong if I don't carry knockoff, which I forgot to put on my Bronzong, and the match has already been played, so I'm recording this actually too late, but meh. I didn't even consider doing this, but so it 2-KOs everything on his team. It's a huge threat to it, so that's definitely a thing I'm going to be bringing. So without any further ado, I'd actually like to hop into my team. So the first thing I brought was Heracross. Heracross is my MVP right now, sitting at 6 kills I believe. And so I put a lot of different EVs in here. I went with max attack because I wanted to be Heracross as powerful as it could be, and I gave it enough speed to outspeed standard defensive Zapdos, which does have 20 speed EVs, so that's why I gave it this 148, so it does outspeed Zapdos with a bit of speed investment, and the rest of it is dumped in special defense so I can live hits from the Gengar easier. My team doesn't deal with Gengar very well, and that's why I decided to go with Heracross with the Pursuit. That's why I went with max attack. That's why I did go with the Adamant Nature. So Gengar can only claim a maximum of 1 kill as long as I aim to keep my Heracross healthy. I do have Megahorn knockoff Stone Edge. Basically I did think that this was the best coverage against his team. I do think that I can hit the majority of his team for super effective damage, and that's what I really wanted to go for. So that's going to be my Heracross for this week. Next thing we have is Sharp Beak Talonflame. I realized that the only thing that really takes on Talonflame after it sets up a Swords Dance is actually going to be Zapdos. And Zapdos does not like taking a +2 Flare Blitz, especially especially when it dies to stealth frogs. After it's switching in on stealth frogs, so it does take like 77%, I believe, from a +2 flare blitz, being adamant nature. So the EV spread is very custom because, well, obviously I needed these amount of speed EVs. I wanted that amount of speed EVs because I invested that much speed because I wanted to outspeed max speed timid Zapdos, which isn't the biggest threat, but I just wanted to do it in case he randomly decided to bring that, which hits 328 if I'm correct. So I wanted to outspeed that because that's the only thing. So I wanted to be faster than the thing that would be faster than me, and that I wanted to hit with an actual flare blitz, because Infernape outspeeds me now if it's max speed timid or jolly, but I still want to hit that with a Brave Bird, so it doesn't matter that's faster than me. So that's why I decided to go with that, and then I dumped the rest in HP, and I saw that I got an even number of HP, so I dropped 4 and I put 4 in defense. That's completely random, it's not to survive anything, it's just so that I would keep my HP number odd, and maybe a bit extra bulk. I mean, it doesn't matter in the slightest. So next Pokemon is Suicune. It's a rest talking variant with Scald and Toxic. I figured that you'd probably try some. I do have quite some setup mods, so I figured he'd probably bring something that is going to negate that as a haze user, or something along those lines. I figured that Toxic would be much more beneficial as he did not have Glaring Cleric. I didn't think he wanted to do that on his Altaria, since that allowed him to have less coverage, less healing opportunities. So that's why I decided to go with a bulky Suicune and not with the Crocune set, but actually with Scald plus Toxic. So basically, Suicune is going to try and spread as much status around. I couldn't find a word for that for a second, but as much status around as it can possibly do. Next off is on Polion, and Polion is a very important job. Polion needs to get up Stealth Frogs. As has been stated before, his entire team does not take anything from a +2 Talonflame, especially after Stealth Frogs. Then everything just straight up dies. So, and another important thing was that I really wanted to keep hazards off the field, so that's why I went with Defog, Scald, and Flash Cannon, because this thing obviously is a switch in for the Altaria. The reason why I have 16 speed EVs is because I figured he would probably want to speed creep me with a Donphan, so that's why I put 16 speed EVs, so I'd still outspeed the Donphan. This is a very custom set. I put 68 defense EVs because that would allow me after the Shuka Berry, because if you don't know what Shuka Berry does, half damage taken from super effective ground type attacks. I wanted this guy to take on Mega Altaria, that's why I put on a Shuka Berry and 68 defense EVs, because afterwards I would be guaranteed to live an Earthquake from a bulky Dragonance. I did think he was not going to bring offensive Dragonance, so that's why I did that, especially with the pickup of Talonflame. So that is definitely a thing. So I really wanted to live 2 of those, and Flash Cannon would actually 2-hit KO, so that I was in a very good spot as soon as that would happen. Next off we have Electros, which is going to make his debut. He does have a lot of electric Pokemon, and when I was building this team I started to notice that I had nothing against, well, I had 3 mons that were weak to electric attacks, so I decided, you know what, let me just go with an electric resist. Let me just throw out an Assault Fist on Electros and put some nice coverage on it. I do have Full Switch because I want to keep initiative throughout the entire game. I do have Knockoff because I don't like items, I don't like him having items. Giga Drain, Flamethrower just for general coverage. So there's nothing special about this guy. I really wanted it to be especially bulky as it could be, so, and still Pocket Punch, so that's why I decided to go with max special defense. I went with a minus speed because I wanted a slow Volt Switch. This thing was not going to outspeed anything anyway. Donphan couldn't do a whole lot to it, and I could retaliate with a Giga Drain, so that was the only thing that could really do anything to it. And the last Pokemon is going to be Life Orb Mamoswine, which is going to be Adamant. I'm running Adamant because I don't outspeed anything significantly with Jolly, and as soon as I run Jolly, the things that are faster were faster, and the things that are slower are going to be slower. So that is a thing, and that's why I decided to go with this. I did go with Superpower, which I should have gone with Knockoff to hit Bronzong a bit harder, but that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed this team analysis, and I will see you guys in the next one.